They all want to get closer to the throne, it is their madness. Nietzsche. Game of Thrones, the famous TV series that crowned itself as a television phenomenon, no longer needs any introduction as it has begun its 8th season. Despite the events of the series taking place in a world that defies logic, structured in a fantasy and fiction framework, it serves as an important gateway to understanding the German philosopher Nietzsche's theories on the concept of the will to power. In the series, the writers, led by the true founder of the Game of Thrones phenomenon, author George R.R. Martin, managed to create a unique life for each character, distinct from one another, united in their desire to reach their goal and escape punishment in a world where safety can only be found through power. Thus, across the continents of Game of Thrones, the Starks, Lannisters, Baratheons, and Targaryens all strive to reach the throne to secure the lives of their families and kingdoms. Despite the blood, dead bodies, rapes, and more blood, the Game of Thrones remains a useful means to understand and grasp the mechanisms of the logic of power that Nietzsche describes in his works. Nietzsche's philosophy of power. To live as I want, or not live at all. Nietzsche's thought is based on the concept of power in its various manifestations, whether military, physical, or political, but the core power in Nietzsche's philosophy is the power that an individual uses to establish the values they follow in their life, which Nietzsche calls revaluation of values. In this process, the individual must create new values distinct from those imposed by their familial environment or the educational and religious systems. On the path to becoming the Übermensch or Superman, an individual must transcend the moral and legal rules that constrain human behavior. Nietzsche, through the character of Zarathustra in his book Thus Spoke Zarathustra, states, "Alas, whoever speculates on what my will is, must also speculate on what twisted paths this will must take, and whatever I create, no matter how much I love it, I will soon turn against my love for it. Thus my will desires." The trampling of ethics does not stop there in the world of the kingdoms, as sacrificing others to strengthen influence is permissible in Game of Thrones. To win a battle, one must sacrifice members of their own blood. Nietzsche's discovery that the will to power is not just a characteristic of life but its essence and core is clear here. Life is the will to power, continually surpassing itself. In his book Genealogy of Morals, he elaborates on the will to power, critiquing the modern moral system in favor of European values that he refers to as slave morality. Nietzsche believes that instinct is the source of human strength, granting joy, ecstasy, and power, and it drives individuals, whether through the actions of a strong or weak person. Instinct is the cause of every event. Returning to the